move away from that group anyway. And since he's still in vision, we cannot exit combat, even though we're not actually fighting. That's always bugged me. Roar! Really should switch that back to ice. Good job missing. You had no chance of hitting him. But, you know, you tried. You failed, but you tried. But that still makes you a miserable failure. Congratulations. Ow. I suppose I had that coming. What do I need to do? Location and numbers. How will I get to them? Can I get some support? Oh, I could have used them, but oh well. The shapers by the north and south walls are dead. Kari Blaze nods. He definitely looks weaker. The other Dracons are exhausted. You don't have much time left. Then it is almost. We must strike soon. The Dracon's voice has regained its sibilance. There is a little more you can do to weaken them, but you must act fast, otherwise we strike. Say when you are prepared to aid. We may need your aid. What else can I do? Disable the machines to the west. They defend the shapers. Can you hold while I destroy the machines? How can I disable them? Okay. Okay, I already did that, though. Okay. Give me a break. Hey, you actually hurt one of the Dracons. I need to get these Rockgroths on my side, if I can. Take control of them. Send your will to try to calm the creatures. They flinch and make angry, agitated noises. You double your efforts, soothing the panicked beasts. You also try to ignore their foul order. Soon you have some success. They are not fully under your control, but you might be able to give them an order or two. Gather at the side wall. Okay. Try to keep the combat out of visual range. Gather at the side wall. I'm ready to attack. It is time. All these years I have dreamed of this. This is how I want to die. Kare turns and mutters a spell. He directs a huge blast of fire at the ceiling of the gallery behind you, shattering the keystone of one of the arches. The ceiling collapses, blocking your escape with the rubble. Come, Dracons, come, little one. This is the day the war is won. Kare charges west through the gap, roaring as he goes. Okay, Kare. No escape now. I guess the Shapers aren't allowed to escape either. And the machines are disabled, so it's 4 Dracons, a Kare Blaze, and whatever creations they have going, versus the 3 Counselors, and nothing else, aside from those turrets, which I don't think will be an issue. Oh, you die in a fire, or an ice blast. Either or, whatever happens to kill you first. Good job. I like it when they can redirect their attacks. Poor Cryo Drake. Just get everyone up into fighting range. Oh! My goodness. Looks like I'm on clerical duty. Good job hurting a Kare Blaze. Plink, 15. Will this heal everyone? Yep. Get behind the bunker! And Counselor Shema. He had the 2 conduits. I imagine he would have been the hardest to kill. Harsh. Boy, I wish I could mass weaken slash electrocute everybody. The final Scream Counselor Sharissa of the Nodai Coast falls. The Nodai Coast is the oldest, wealthiest of the Shaper provinces. Rising up to lead there requires great wealth and political influence. Great skill as a Shaper doesn't generally enter into it. Today, this has been very much to your advantage. Everyone's all healed up. Everyone's all war blessed. You will not slow the Dracons down. Go away. I kinda want to let the Dracons advance first, though. Or the Rockgroths. Really, anyone but my people. You use me as expendable cannon fodder. I can use you as the same. No, they're going after the other one on the far end. This is probably scripted who they go after. I failed. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't see the little X's floating around. There we go. Harsh. Whoa, you are annihilating the Dracons. Hopefully that will distract him a little. How tough are you? About 3,000. Oh, you don't get to stand in the bunker. You don't have a ranged attack. Whoa. Yep, playing medic again. Council Nawa, as the leader of Lethia province, fails to deflect an attack. It blasts him in the chest, flinging him off the platform. Stunned to unconsciousness, he soon succumbs to his wounds. In an instant, another member of the Shaper Council falls. Tragedy. Now it's just you. Get barely into his range. There you go. That'll teach you to become brain drained. Jeez Louise. Jeez, man. No one still accounted for? The Dracons did the heavy lifting. At last, the unthinkable happens. High Counselor Shima, figurehead of the Shaper Empire, dies. He is old and wise, but his skills have been allowed to atrophy. Before he has a chance to fully summon his power, a blow shatters his ribcage. He falls to his knees. With the last scraps of his strength, he looks around the Citadel Dome, his place of power, his home, the heart of his people. He swore to protect, failed to protect. In his last moments, the enormity of what has happened strikes him. He realizes what is lost, and then he falls. With every moment, the Shaper Empire fades further into history. Crappy. I still like the Shapers more than the Dracons. You walk out of the front gate of the council hall, dazed by all that has just happened. In one lightning stroke, the leaders of the Shapers have been destroyed. The Shapers suffered greatly for their arrogance in the early days of the rebellion, and they never learned from it. Had they been able to avoid a direct challenge from outsiders and creations, they would be alive now. In the fortress behind you, you hear the deafening series of explosions. The maddened creations are sacking the Shaper labs. No doubt many of them are dying in the resulting carnage. They are sincere, but not smart. You reach the entry courtyard and find that it is a swarm of activity. Serviles and creations are securing the outbuildings and moving to encircle the fortress, hoping to catch as many fleeing loyalists as possible. As the explosions intensify, you quicken your pace. Dracons are moving into the Citadel in order to stop the vandalism of the Shaper labs and salvage what they can. You walk past them unchallenged. Your new orders are soon delivered to you, and they are clear. You need to return to Gizakios to regroup with Galdring and discuss this victory. Aw, poor Fiora. Your journey across the storm plains is slow and difficult. The loss of the council has seriously destabilized the Shaper lands. Consumed with terror... just a second. Kinda loud. Consumed with terror, the Shapers and outsiders alike lash out. You pass towns that have closed themselves off to all visitors. You avoid platoons of soldiers that are attacking anyone unfamiliar. You pass piles of dead creations, loyal creatures, slaughtered out of fear they might go rogue. You slip through Fort Rockfall, which remains in rebel hands, and return to Gizakios. You are greeted as a hero. You are rapidly escorted to Galdring's audience hall. The leader of the Dracons is wily enough to know that you need to be shown appropriate gratitude. Before the leaders of the Dracons, the rebel humans and the Serviles, you tell the tale of the battle. The cheers go on for what seem like hours. This was no mere skirmish, it was the total humiliation of the Shapers. The celebration goes on all through the night, and the next day the war resumes. However, you are not treated as you expected. You are not sent west to continue the struggle against the Shapers. Instead, Galdring tells you to go east. You are to aid in administration of the eastern provinces. Despite all your training, you spend your time hunting down small bands of Shaper holdouts and looking for Trachovite counter-revolutionaries. Meanwhile, the Dracons head west to take over the war effort, and they proceed with great vigor and astonishing viciousness. They take full advantage of the lack of Shaper leadership. They advance tirelessly, taking great losses but seizing huge expanses of land. That poor Guardian just gets annihilated. I've seen that picture so many times. Within weeks, the Dracon juggernaut has advanced into the Nodai coast and Lethia province. The Shapers finally succeed in assembling a new council and a new chain of command. However, by the time they start to stabilize the situation, the result of this new campaign is clear. The Shapers have lost. The war is over. And as you continue to languish in the east, With an increasingly number of dissatisfied serviles and humans, General Greta is sent to join you in obscurity. You are not naive enough to wait for Galdring's call. You know that no glorious post awaits you. You in the new regime, you had a hand in the destruction of the Shapers, and that has to be its own reward. No word reaches you of the fate of the people of the soft, wealthy western provinces, but you can guess. You know what happens. You know what the Dracons are like. You only hope that the end of the Shaper reign is worth the price that is being paid. Meanwhile, the eastern provinces left behind as the Dracons rampaged west, dissatisfaction grows. News of newer, stricter Dracon proclamations reaches you and your fellows. News of the Dracons reserving the power of the Shapers for themselves. That is what tells you that it is time to act. As the Dracons use the rest of their strength defeating the final, most desperate, most fanatical pockets of Shaper strength, you and your fellows are already preparing. You know what it is like to fight Shapers. You know how to hide, how to sabotage, how to turn their arrogance against them. Whether the Shapers are human or reptile, it makes no difference. When the Dracons returned from the battle, far, far fewer in number than the Shapers ever were, the next rebellion began, and this one was much shorter. Once the rebellion against the rebellion was completed, it was time at last to build a peace. The few surviving Shapers, smaller number of Dracons, the Serviles, the Rebels, the humans, and you come together to sign an armistice. Shaping was still practiced, but far more carefully. The leaders of the province constantly watched for madmen who would misuse the powers in an effort to bring back the dark days. I suppose that's me. And that would be Greta? I don't know who that is. But you got some Serviles there. Not sure about that, but he looks pretty pissed. The revolution against the revolution. Terrestria was split, for the first time in centuries, into two nations. The Shapers retained the two coastal provinces which they still called Terrestria. The rebels selected a name from Servile mythology. The name of the land they claimed the rebellion started in. They call their land Sushia. And together, all the disparate factions entered into a new strange world, squabbling and trying to deal with the unfamiliar powers they have been given, and struggling to maintain a fragile peace. As for you, you were justly rewarded for your courage, although you were doomed to be forever in between, not a rebel, not a Shaper. Your fame and courage gave you a rare freedom to choose the life you would live. You gained enough power and influence to have a happy life, and you had the good fortune to live long enough to see the effects of your labors. In the end, you were proud of your work. Only one thing disturbed your contentment. Despite your efforts, you never found out who you were before the war. You changed too much, and too much information was lost, but you suspect if you had knew what you had done, it might not make you any happier. And as the years passed, the peace held. Every year, the state of Terrestria became seen as more and more normal. The old who remembered the days of bitterness and recrimination made way for the young who did not. The power of shaping proved to be as hard to control as ever. Turned out that the laws and controls of the Shapers did have a purpose, and the release of untested new creations caused great harm. The Trachovites never disappeared from Terrestria, and as time passed, the Talia gained more adherents. Some regions of Sushia even became shaping free, although their dreams of no shaping remained far into the future. And in the end, one result of the shaping art was eliminated by Shapers and Rebels alike, the Geneforge. The genesis of all the momentous events of the rebellion was deemed too dangerous to exist. Any creature, human, servile, or Dracon, gaining too much power so quickly without obtaining any wisdom to temper it, was no longer tolerable. Even surviving Dracons eventually had to agree. You were present when the final Geneforge was drained forever. The experience was far more painful than you had expected. You never understood why. Because that's how I was supposed to get my memory back, I think. And that is the tale of how the dominion of the Shaper was finally broken, and the creations gained their freedom. A journey from a small forgotten island to the farthest extent of the known lands. The characters in this history are all gone now, but the results of their struggles and the risks they took, the fears they overcame, and the decisions they tried to make wisely, and the products of their labors continues to this day, for us to understand, to endure, and if needed, to change. The end. Credits. That's it. There you go. Teeny tiny credit list for all these games. Man, that was a power session. It was like, what, 6 hours? 7? Jeez, it's almost midnight. Well, guys, been a wild ride in Geneforge. We're not done with Spiderweb Software games either, but we are done with Geneforge, my favorite game series. And I really, really hope that I convince some of you guys to play it, and you guys are enjoying it, and you guys enjoyed my playthrough. I tried to, go loyal and rebel and troglodyte once, Man, I'm really gonna miss playing this game. All these games. As frustrating as I got with them sometimes, I really love them. Well, I could sit here and talk forever, but I've been talking forever already today. I am done. Whew. You guys take care, okay? I will talk to you all later. Say bye to Geneforge. Man. Bye, Geneforge. I'll miss playing you. Bye, guys. Man, that was a good game.